Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Tyler Hynes has always had a way of connecting with audiences. Whether he's portraying a romantic lead in a cozy small-town love story or showing a more vulnerable side in a heartfelt moment, his performances often resonate far beyond the screen. But recently, it wasn't just a scene from one of his movies that left viewers in tears. It was a real-life reunion that fans described as one of the most moving moments they've ever witnessed from the Hallmark favorite. The emotional intensity of this reunion has not only melted the hearts of countless viewers, but it also reminded fans why they continue to hold Tyler in such high regard. Today, let's dive deep into that reunion, the layers of emotion behind it, and why it struck such a chord with audiences across the world. When people talk about Tyler Hynes, they often describe him as authentic, grounded, and endlessly kind. Those qualities are what made this reunion feel so genuine. This wasn't just a public appearance or a carefully staged meet-and-greet moment. It was raw, unscripted, and deeply personal. Tyler had been separated from someone very close to him, and when the two finally crossed paths again, the flood of emotion was undeniable. Fans watching the moment unfold said it felt like they were witnessing something far more intimate than a celebrity encounter. It was the kind of emotional connection that transcends fame and television. The reunion began quietly, without any grand introduction. Tyler walked into the room, and at first, there was only a pause, a silence that carried more weight than words ever could. His eyes instantly locked onto the person he was reuniting with, and in that instant, his entire expression changed. You could see the shift, the surprise, the relief, the affection, all written across his face. It was a split-second transformation, but one that fans immediately picked up on. It's rare to see an actor drop every layer of performance and simply exist in a moment as a human being. Tyler gave viewers that gift. As the two moved closer, Tyler's body language said everything. He didn't rush in or try to mask his emotions. Instead, he slowed down, almost as if he wanted to savor every second leading up to the embrace. And then it happened. The hug that fans described as one of the most heartfelt they'd ever seen. Tyler wrapped his arms around the other person with such sincerity. It was impossible not to feel the weight of that moment. The way he closed his eyes, the way he held on just a little longer than usual, it all told the story of how much this reunion meant to him. People often underestimate the power of a simple hug, but in this case, it was more than just a gesture of affection. It was a symbol of resilience, of overcoming time and distance, and of the unbreakable bond between two people. Fans watching the footage replayed the moment again and again, pointing out the tiny details, the way Tyler's shoulders seemed to relax for the first time in a long while, the way his voice trembled when he finally spoke, and the way he smiled through tears that he didn't try to hide. What made the reunion even more powerful was how unpolished it felt. So often, celebrity reunions or on-screen moments are designed to tug at heartstrings, but this wasn't scripted. There were no cameras positioned for the perfect angle, no rehearsed lines, and no dramatic music swelling in the background. Instead, there was silence, laughter, and the kind of emotion that can't be faked. That authenticity struck fans deeply, because it reminded them that behind the actor they admire is a man with the same vulnerabilities and emotions that they experience in their own lives. Social media lit up almost immediately. Fans began sharing clips, GIFs, and still images of the reunion, with captions that described how they were moved to tears just watching it unfold. One fan wrote that they hadn't cried that hard in years, while another said it reminded them of their own reunion with a loved one they had been separated from. The beauty of Tyler's moment wasn't just in how it touched him personally, but in how it reflected back the emotions and experiences of the fans watching from home. Tyler has always maintained a close connection with his fan base, and this reunion only deepened that bond. He isn't the type of actor who hides behind the glitz of Hollywood. Instead, he often shares personal reflections, messages of gratitude, and little glimpses of his life that make fans feel like they truly know him. This moment, however, elevated that connection to a whole new level. It wasn't just a peek into his life, it was an invitation to feel with him, to share in something profoundly human. The timing of the reunion also added layers of meaning. Tyler had been balancing a busy filming schedule, promoting projects, and appearing at fan events. It's easy for someone in his position to become overwhelmed, to get lost in the demands of constant production and performance. But the reunion reminded everyone, including Tyler himself, of what truly matters. It was a grounding moment, one that centered him not as a star on a set, but as a person surrounded by love and connection. Fans pointed out that the reunion mirrored some of the very themes Tyler often brings to life in his Hallmark roles. Whether it's stories of second chances, lost loves reunited, or families finding each other again, Tyler has been part of countless narratives about reconnection. And here he was, living out a scene that could have easily been written for one of his movies, except it was real. That blurring of the line between fiction and reality only added to the depth of the experience. The aftermath of the reunion was just as emotional as the moment itself. Tyler and his loved ones shared laughter, small conversations, and even a few tears. He didn't rush away or cut the interaction short. Instead, he lingered, making sure the time they had together wasn't just about the initial embrace, but about re-establishing the closeness that had been missing. Fans admired this, noting that it showed a man who doesn't take relationships for granted. Even after the reunion ended, Tyler carried that energy into his interactions with others. Observers noted that he seemed lighter, more open, and even more present in the moments that followed. It was as if the weight he had been carrying quietly for so long had been lifted, and that shift was something everyone could feel. Of course, fans began speculating about the story behind the separation. What had kept Tyler and his loved one apart? Was it distance, timing, work obligations, or something else entirely? While Tyler has always been careful about what personal details he shares publicly, the lack of specifics only made the reunion more relatable. People could project their own experiences onto the moment, making it even more universal. It wasn't about the why. It was about the undeniable power of coming back together. This reunion will likely be remembered as one of the most talked about moments in Tyler Hynes' career, not because it was part of a scripted role, but because it stripped away the barriers between celebrity and fan. It showed Tyler not as a Hallmark star, but as a man who feels deeply, who loves deeply, and who isn't afraid to let the world see that side of him. As the weeks went on, the reunion continued to make waves. Interviews, fan forums, and even entertainment outlets kept returning to the story, highlighting how it stood out in a world often filled with superficial headlines. In a time when so much of what we see is filtered, edited, and curated, Tyler's emotional reunion was a reminder of the raw beauty of real human connection. And perhaps that's the greatest reason why it touched so many hearts. Fans didn't just see Tyler's moment. They felt it. They carried it with them, letting it remind them of the people in their own lives they cherish. They reached out to family members they hadn't spoken to in a while. They reflected on the power of holding on to someone a little tighter, of appreciating the small gestures that mean the most. In that way, Tyler's reunion wasn't just his. It belonged to everyone who experienced it alongside him. As Tyler continues his journey with Hallmark and beyond, this emotional reunion will stand as a shining example of why fans adore him. It isn't just the roles he plays or the charm he brings to the screen. It's the humanity he carries with him, the openness he's willing to share, and the moments that remind us all what really matters in life. Because at the end of the day, Tyler Hynes showed us something timeless. Reunions aren't just about being back in the same place with someone. They're about rediscovering the love, the bond, and the connection that distance could never break. And in that truth lies the reason why his emotional reunion will forever be remembered as a moment that melted hearts everywhere. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.